You know that feeling when you decide it is finally time to get your life together?
Oh, yeah, the total life overhaul.
Exactly. You go out, you buy a brand new, beautifully bound notebook.
Of course.
The paper is crisp, the pen you're using is perfectly smooth, and you write out this massive, incredibly detailed 5-year life plan.
With flawless handwriting, naturally.
Right. You are completely on fire with motivation. And then, about 3 days later, you quietly close that beautiful notebook, abandon it on your desk, and you never make it past page two.
A classic story. It happens to all of us.
It really does. So, today, for you listening, we're going on a deep dive into hacking the psychology behind why that happens.
And more importantly, how to actually build habits that survive contact with reality.
Yeah. And to do that, we're pulling from a somewhat unexpected stack of sources today, transcripts from English language learning channels.
Right. Specifically, English in Comfort, English Easy Practice, and Speak English with Class.
Yeah. And while they are designed for English learners, our mission today is to extract the universal gold mines hidden inside them.
Because if you look closely at their methodology, they're actually laying out a master class in behavioral psychology.
They really are.
They're dismantling the illusions we have about willpower and offering a blueprint for incremental growth that applies to, well, sticking to any new goal without burning out.
Not to mention mastering those nuanced everyday social interactions we all face.
Exactly.
Which brings us back to the trap of that beautiful notebook. The sources point out a fundamental flaw in how we set goals.
Right, because people don't fail because they're inherently lazy.
No, they fail because their goals are designed for a perfect life.
Yeah.
Like big goals are created by our motivated Saturday self.
The motivated Saturday self. I love that concept.
You know that version of you? You've slept 8 hours, the sun is shining, you've had a great cup of coffee.
You're rested, you're totally inspired.
Yeah. And you decide you're going to wake up at 5 a.m., run 5 miles, learn a new language, and cook every meal from scratch.
But the problem is that Saturday self is operating in a vacuum of ideal conditions.
Right.
The person who actually has to execute that massive plan isn't the Saturday self, it's the tired Tuesday self.
The tired Tuesday. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because setting goals on a Saturday, it kind of feels like, well, it's like grocery shopping when you're starving.
Oh, that is such a perfect analogy.
Right. You buy a bunch of ambitious leafy vegetables because your hungry, motivated brain is convinced you're going to cheerfully chop them up and roast them.
But then Tuesday evening rolls around.
Exactly. You had a miserable meeting at work, your commute was awful, you're stressed, you just want to sleep.
And your executive function is completely depleted.
Yeah. And those ambitious vegetables are just rotting in the crisper drawer while you order a pizza.
Which is exactly why the change everything at once approach is basically a house of cards.
How so?
Well, trying to change your mornings, your diet, and your habits all at once means if one thing fails, the whole house of cards falls.
Oh, I see.
If you oversleep on Tuesday morning and miss the run, your brain decides the day is ruined, so you might as well abandon the diet and the studying too.
Yeah, that makes total sense. But I have to push back a little bit here.
Okay, go for it.
The sources advocate for setting very small, manageable goals instead. But doesn't setting a small goal just mean we are lowering our standards?
It's easy to view it that way, yeah.
Like, it feels like we're expecting less of ourselves because the real work is just too hard.
I get that. But it's not about lowering standards. It's about making progress incremental and realistic.
Incremental, right.
A massive goal demands optimal conditions to survive. Small goals don't demand perfection. They just demand that you show up, even on a messy Tuesday.
So they are basically designed to be sustainable.
Exactly. Small goals aren't weak, they are manageable.
Okay, that shifts the focus from intensity to consistency. And that leads us to the specific blueprint these language sources recommend.
The 5-minute daily blueprint?
Right, the 5-minute blueprint. They use this wonderful analogy of watering a seed.
I love the plant analogy. If you want a seed to grow, you give it a little water every single day.
Yeah, just a tiny bit.
The growth is microscopic, but it is steady. Now, contrast that with the weekend warrior approach.
Right, where you starve that seed for a week and then dump a massive bucket of water on it on Saturday.
Exactly. You don't accelerate its growth, you drown it. 5 minutes a day beats 2 hours on a Saturday every time.
So the sources break this 5-minute daily water bucket into three very specific micro habits.
Right, let's go through them.
Habit number one is to simply listen to something short every day. And what stands out to me is the instruction that you don't even need to understand all of it.
Yeah, that's crucial. You just let your brain quietly absorb it like a sponge.
Absorb it like a sponge. I mean, it feels counterintuitive to not try to understand everything.
It does, but by lowering the demand from I must understand everything to I just need to hear it, you completely bypass the frustration that usually makes people quit.
That makes a lot of sense. So habit number two is speaking out loud.
Yes, taking 3 simple sentences and physically saying them out loud.
And they make a sharp distinction here, right? Like thinking about the words isn't enough.
Not at all. Speaking is a physical skill, much like riding a bicycle.
Oh, like muscle memory.
Exactly. You can theorize all day about balancing on a bicycle, but you have to actually physically do it to learn. Your vocal cords and tongue need the physical practice.
Which flows directly into the third micro habit. Learn and use just one new word.
Just one word. But the crucial step is that you have to actively use it.
Yeah, and the sources use this striking visual that I love, the nail and the piece of wood.
Such a great visual.
Reading a word is just setting the nail on top of the wood. But
Mhm.
using the words like pushing a nail into the wood, you can't just set it on top and hope it stays.
You have to force yourself to retrieve that word from memory and construct a sentence. That's the hammer driving the nail in.
I really love that analogy. It feels so applicable to daily life. But I get the 5 minutes, I really do. But what if I'm just feeling incredibly lazy at the starting line?
Right, the tired Tuesday feeling.
Yeah. Is 5 minutes really going to move the needle if I can barely get off the couch?
What's fascinating here is how the sources address this with the 10-minute rule, or sometimes they call it the 5-minute rule.
Okay, how does that work?
You tell yourself you only have to do the task for that short time, just 5 or 10 minutes.
So you're giving yourself permission to quit after 5 minutes.
Exactly. It lowers the barrier to entry so much that the brain just stops resisting.
You dismantle the threat.
Right.
And here's where it gets really interesting for me. Because once you start these 5-minute habits,
Yeah.
a psychological shift happens.
Yes. The momentum takes over.
Right. Starting is the hardest part. Zero has this incredibly heavy resistance.
Oh, definitely.
But getting from 1 to 2 is easy. It's like a ball rolling down a hill.
Once you overcome that initial friction, gravity does the work. That's momentum.
But the hidden benefit here is what it does to your identity. The sources say every time you break a massive promise to yourself, you damage your self-trust.
And that is so harmful over time.
Yeah. But keeping tiny 5-minute promises rebuilds that self-trust.
It does. But, this raises an interesting point.
What's that?
If we are just tricking ourselves into starting with this 5-minute rule, what does this mean for our identity?
Oh, right. Like, are we just faking it forever?
Exactly. Are we just hackers of our own brains, or does it become real?
Well, the sources suggest that it shifts from being a punishment or like strict discipline to actually becoming part of your identity.
So.
You just become the type of person who does this.
Yeah.
A habit folds into your self-concept.
Okay, I see. You're accumulating undeniable evidence that you are reliable.
Exactly. But what happens when the type of person who does this inevitably misses a day?
Because life happens, emergencies happen.
Right. And here the sources warn against what they call the danger of zero.
Ah, the danger of zero.
Yeah. If you miss a day, do not restart from zero.
Right, because missing a day isn't a failure, it's just a pause.
I love the analogy they use for this. It's like tripping while walking.
Right, you don't just stay on the ground.
Yeah, you don't declare yourself a failure at walking and just lie there on the pavement. You just catch yourself and keep walking.
That is brilliant. And by not resetting to zero, You allow your efforts to compound.
Compound growth.
Yeah, just like compound interest in finance. 1 word a day is 365 words a year.
And the growth isn't linear, right?
Yeah.
Each word makes learning the next one easier.
Exactly. Knowing the first 50 words provides context clues that make the 51st words significantly easier. The knowledge just accelerates itself.
Okay, so we've nailed down the mechanics of how to learn and build habits. We've talked about lowering internal friction,
Right.
but now let's look at what we're actually learning from these specific sources, because they offer this fascinating look at the vocabulary of daily life.
Oh, this part is so interesting. They transition from internal mechanics to external application.
Yeah. Specifically, how to navigate the incredibly awkward, socially fragile act of asking for and declining favors.
Which is something we all deal with constantly.
Exactly. So what does this all mean? I was struck by how much social anxiety is basically baked into human communication.
Oh, absolutely. It's a minefield.
It's like this delicate verbal dance
Yeah.
where we are desperately trying not to step on anyone's toes.
Well, asking for a favor puts you in a vulnerable position, and it puts the other person in a position of potential obligation.
Right. So the sources point out you can't just walk up to someone and say, "Give me your phone."
No, even if their phone is right there, that's way too blunt. It's perceived as aggression.
Yeah, you have to soften it. You have to use phrases like, "Would it be possible?" or "Could you possibly?"
Where the very relaxed, I was wondering if.
Yes, I was wondering if. Why do we go to such great lengths to add all these softening words instead of just being direct?
Because using phrases like, would it be possible, isn't just about grammar, it's about social grace.
Social grace.
Right. By framing it around possibility, it gives the other person an easy out so they don't feel pressured.
Oh, I see.
They can just say it's not possible rather than having to reject you directly. It preserves the relationship.
That makes total sense. They also highlight using the phrase, "I could really use an extra hand."
Oh, yes. And clarifying that it means help, not literally wanting to sever someone's hand.
Right, a very important distinction. But seriously, the phrase "an extra hand" is brilliant because it minimizes the perceived burden. You aren't asking them to do the whole job.
Exactly. And then on the flip side, the language of accepting a favor is also super interesting.
Like saying, "Yeah, sure, no problem," or "glad to help."
Right. It signals that the social debt isn't overwhelmingly large. Or calling someone a lifesaver when they help you out of a tough spot.
Like if your phone battery is dead and they lend you a charger, you're a lifesaver. It recalibrates the power dynamic.
But the real tricky part, the ultimate social friction, is the soft decline.
Oh, saying no to a favor, that is universally uncomfortable.
Because it feels like a rejection of the person, not just the task.
But the sources provide a really effective structure for this. How to say no without ruining a relationship.
The I'd love to help you out, but structure.
Yes, I'd love to help you out, but followed by a short, honest reason.
Like, I have a dentist appointment.
Right. You have to lead with validating the relationship first. I'd love to help.
And then the short reason prevents it from sounding like a fabricated, rambling excuse.
Exactly. But sometimes, you can't offer a soft decline and you can't just absorb the burden for free.
That's where negotiating comes in, the art of the trade.
Right. Making a deal. I'll cover your shift if you cover mine.
The word if is doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
It really is. It removes the ambiguity of a favor and makes it a clear transaction.
Which eliminates unspoken obligations or resentment.
It's all just so connected. Whether you're tricking your brain with the 5-minute rule or softening your request with "would it be possible," you're just engineering the path of least resistance.
We are constantly managing friction, internally and socially.
We really are. So, to wrap up this deep dive for you listening, you don't need a massive 5-year plan to master a language or build a new skill.
No, you don't.
Ditch the motivated Saturday fantasy. Embrace the 5-minute micro habits. Protect your self-trust by keeping tiny promises.
And let your efforts compound incrementally.
Exactly. And when you stumble, don't restart from zero. Just catch your balance.
And, of course, use a little social grace when you need an extra hand out there in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, before we go, we want to leave you with one final kind of provocative twist to ponder today.
Right. Because we've talked all about how small, positive daily actions compound to build our self trust and our skills.
Yeah.
But this raises an important question for you to mull over. What are the small, unintentional habits you are doing every single day?
Oh, wow. Like scrolling your phone in bed.
Exactly. Or
Yeah.
using self deprecating language in conversations. What are those small negative habits that are quietly compounding in the opposite direction?
That is a phenomenal, if slightly terrifying, thought to end on. Pay attention to what you're compounding out there.
Internally and externally.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Close that massive notebook. Give yourself 5 manageable minutes today, and we will catch you next time.